In 1080, a lay brother Jared of the Benedict order was appointed rector of the Hospice Jerusalem at Muristan. Following the conclusion of the First Crusade in 1099, he subsequently established the Order of St. John of Jerusalem, which remained active until 1291. Subsequently, the order relocated to the island of Rhodes until 1310, then to Malta from 1530 to 1798, and finally to Petersburg from 1799 to 1801. Today, the organization comprises numerous entities, including the Military Order of Malta, also known as the Knights Hospitaller. They received papal recognition in 1113. Blessed Gerard was the inaugural Grand Master of the Knights Hospitaller. However, the order's downfall occurred in 1307 when King Philip IV of France accused them of heresy. This accusation resulted in the arrest and subsequent execution of numerous Templars, culminating in the official disbandment of the order by Pope Clement V in 1312. The Pope appointed inquisitors to interrogate the Templars regarding the charges. Despite numerous attempts to elicit confessions, none were forthcoming. Consequently, the Pope appealed to King Richard I to authorize the utilization of more stringent torture methods. As there were rare instances in England where a trial would result in execution, the Templars were subsequently extradited to the county of Ponthieu, which did not adhere to English legal principles. Of the 54 Templars extradited, 52 were burned at the stake, while 2 from England were examined by the Bishop of St. Andrews in Scotland. These examinations yielded confessions pertaining to minor offenses. Hermeticism originated in Hellenistic Egypt, a fusion of Greek and Egyptian philosophical and religious traditions. It posits a connection between deities and celestial bodies, as depicted in mythology. Hermeticism, an ancient philosophical tradition, emerged during the Hellenistic period around 325 BCE in Alexandria, Egypt, through the fusion of Greek and Egyptian cultures. The teachings of Hermes Trismegistus, a fusion of the Greek god Hermes and the Egyptian god Thoth, constituted the foundation of Hermetic philosophy. These teachings encompass spiritual transformation and the interconnectedness of all entities, as recorded in texts such as the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. Key connection between the Pope, fertility, Easter, and Ishtar within the context of historical and cultural influences on religious traditions. Ishtar, an ancient Mesopotamian goddess, embodied love, war, and fertility. Easter, a Christian holiday commemorating the resurrection of Jesus Christ, coincides with the spring equinox, a time traditionally associated with fertility and rebirth. The Easter festival has assimilated symbols of fertility, such as eggs and bunnies, which are believed to have pre-Christian origins. As the head of the Catholic Church, the Pope presides over Easter celebrations globally, which have evolved to incorporate both Christian and pre-Christian elements.
Dive into fascinating topics from ancient history. Today, we're going to explore the intriguing ancient Greek pantheon. Greek mythology originated in ancient Greece approximately 1200 BC and underwent continuous evolution and transmission through oral tradition until it was finally recorded by various authors, such as Hesiod and Homer during the 8th and 7th centuries BC. Greek mythology encompasses a comprehensive collection of myths, legends, and narratives pertaining to the gods, heroes, and supernatural entities that were integral to Greek culture and religion. The deities in Greek mythology embody diverse aspects of life, nature, and human experiences. Here are some of the prominent gods and their symbolic representations. 1. Zeus. Zeus, the supreme deity, holds the position of king of the gods and resides atop Mount Olympus. He embodies the sky, thunder, and lightning. As the progenitor of both gods and humans, Zeus symbolizes power, leadership, and divine authority. 2. Hera. Hera, the queen of the gods, is revered as the goddess of marriage and childbirth. She represents fertility, familial bonds, and the institution of marriage. 3. Poseidon, the god of the sea, earthquakes, and horses, symbolizes the immense power and unpredictability of the oceans, as well as the forces of nature. 4. Athena, the goddess of wisdom, courage, and strategic warfare, embodies intellect, reason, and feminine strength. 5. Apollo, the god of light, music, and healing, represents creativity, inspiration, and the realm of the arts. 6. Artemis, the goddess of the hunt, wilderness, and childbirth, symbolizes nature, independence, and the profound connection between animals and humans. 7. Aphrodite, the goddess of love, beauty, and desire, embodies passion, romance, and the transformative power of attraction. 8. Hermes, the messenger of the gods, the god of commerce, and the protector of travelers, represents communication, trade, and swiftness. 9. Hades, the god of the underworld and the ruler of the departed, symbolizes death, the afterlife, and the realm beyond the veil. **** 10. Demeter, Demeter, the goddess of agriculture, fertility, and the harvest, personifies the cyclical nature of life, growth, and abundance. These are merely a few examples, as Greek mythology encompasses a multitude of deities, each imbued with unique characteristics and symbolic representations. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more intriguing history lessons. We're going to dive into the fascinating world of ancient Egyptology. Egyptian polytheism, also known as ancient Egyptian religion, originated during the pre-dynastic period of ancient Egypt, which commenced approximately 6000 BCE and concluded around 3100 BCE. During this era, the ancient Egyptians revered a diverse pantheon of deities associated with various natural phenomena, including the celestial expanse, the solar system, the Nile River, and fertility. Over the millennia, the Egyptian religious landscape underwent evolution and complexity, with the emergence of prominent deities such as Ra, Osiris, Isis, and Horus. The religion endured and underwent transformations throughout the Pharaonic era, remaining the predominant religious belief system in Egypt until the advent of Christianity during the Roman era. The ancient Egyptian deities embodied diverse aspects of life, nature, and the human experience. Here are some of the most significant Egyptian deities and their respective domains. 1. Ra, the sun god, embodying the cyclical nature of life, creation, and illumination. 2. Osiris, the deity associated with the afterlife, resurrection, and fertility. 3. Isis, the goddess of sorcery, healing, and matriarchy. 4. Horus, the god of the sky, protection, and kingship. 5. Anubis, the deity responsible for embalming and the guardian of the departed. 6. Thoth, the god of wisdom, writing, and knowledge. 7. Hathor, the goddess of love, motherhood, and joy. 8. Seth, the deity representing chaos, storms, and the desert. ***. 9. Bastet, the goddess embodying the concepts of home, fertility, and protection. ***. 10. Sekhmet, the goddess associated with war, destruction, and healing. ***. 11. Amen, the deity revered as the creator and supreme god. ***. 12. Sobek, the Egyptian deity of the Nile River, fertility, and crocodiles. These are merely a few examples, as the Egyptian pantheon encompassed hundreds of deities and goddesses, each with distinct roles and symbolic representations. The ancient Egyptian Book of the Dead, also known as the Book of Coming Forth by Day, is a compilation of ancient Egyptian incantations, supplications, and rituals inscribed on papyrus scrolls. It serves as a funerary text, guiding the deceased through the afterlife and ensuring a successful passage to the realm of the gods. The origins of the Book of the Dead can be traced back to the pyramid texts of the Old Kingdom approximately to 686 to 181 BC, which contained analogous religious texts and incantations intended to assist the pharaohs in their journey to the afterlife. Over time, these texts underwent adaptation and expansion, encompassing a broader spectrum of individuals beyond the pharaoh. The Sumerian King List. This remarkable document dates back to 2100 BCE and is considered one of the earliest recorded accounts of human civilization. The Sumerians, known for their polytheistic religious system, worshipped deities such as Enski, Enlil storms, and Enki wisdom, who were associated with both natural and human forces. Now, let's talk about the Sumerian creation myth. It's a fascinating tale that narrates the emergence of a pantheon of gods from a primordial sea, with Enki playing a pivotal role. Ancient Sumerian religion was a polytheistic belief system practiced by the Sumerian people, an ancient civilization that flourished in Mesopotamia, modern-day Iraq, between the 4th and 3rd millennia BCE. Sumerians worshipped a pantheon of deities, attributing various powers and responsibilities to each deity. The Sumerian religion was an integral part of their daily life and permeated all aspects of society, including politics, agriculture, and personal well-being. The deities were believed to control natural forces such as the sun, moon, rivers, and storms, as well as aspects of human life such as fertility, warfare, and craftsmanship. Some of the prominent deities in Sumerian mythology include 1. Anu, the sky god and the head of the pantheon. 2. Enlil, the god of wines, storms, and agriculture. 3. Enki, the god of fresh water, wisdom, and creation. 4. Inanna, the goddess of love, beauty, and war. 5. Utu Shamash, the sun god and the bringer of justice. 6. Nanna-Sin, the moon god. 7. Ninurta, the god of agriculture, hunting, and warfare. 8. Ninhursag, the mother goddess associated with fertility and nature. Sumerians believed that these deities controlled their destinies and sought to appease them through rituals, offerings, and prayers. Temples were constructed to honor the gods, and priests played a pivotal role in maintaining religious practices. The Sumerian religion had a profound influence on subsequent Mesopotamian civilizations such as the Babylonians and Assyrians. Many of the gods and myths from Sumerian mythology were incorporated into their respective belief systems. The Sumerian origin story, also known as the Sumerian creation myth, provides an account of the creation of the world and the emergence of human civilization according to ancient Sumerian beliefs. This myth was transmitted orally through generations and later recorded in written form on clay tablets. According to the Sumerian creation myth, prior to the emergence of the world, there existed an infinite watery expanse known as Namu, the primordial sea. From this aqueous realm, two formidable deities, Apsu, the deity of fresh water, and Tramat, the deity of salt water, emerged. These entities embodied the chaotic and elemental forces of nature. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more intriguing historical insights. Thanks for tuning in, and we're diving into the fascinating world of Hermetic history. Did you know that Hermeticism originated in Hellenistic Egypt, a fusion of Greek and Egyptian philosophical and religious traditions? It posits a connection between deities and celestial bodies, as depicted in mythology. Hermeticism, an ancient philosophical tradition, emerged during the Hellenistic period around 325 BCE in Alexandria, Egypt, through the fusion of Greek and Egyptian cultures. The teachings of Hermes Trismegistus, a fusion of the Greek god Hermes and the Egyptian god Thoth, constituted the foundation of Hermetic philosophy. These teachings encompassed spiritual transformation and the interconnectedness of all entities, as recorded in texts such as the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. The association between deities and celestial bodies is evident in various polytheistic traditions. For instance, the Sumerians personified celestial bodies as gods such as Shamash sun and Sin moon, integrating them into their religious practices. Similarly, in ancient Egypt, Ra was the sun god, embodying life, while Thoth, associated with the moon, represented wisdom. Greek mythology also reflects these associations. Hermes, linked to Mercury, was the messenger god, while Apollo, connected to the sun, symbolized light and healing. These divine representations often aligned with celestial phenomena, influencing astrology and cosmology. The interplay of these celestial deities demonstrates how ancient civilizations utilized mythological frameworks to elucidate the cosmos and humanity's position within it. Hermeticism, drawing upon these traditions, further emphasized the unity between the divine and the cosmic, highlighting how heavenly bodies mirrored divine realms and vice versa. The Emerald Tablets of Thoth are a collection of ancient texts attributed to the wisdom of Hermes Trismegistus. Legend has it that Thoth himself crafted these translucent green tablets, hence the name Emerald Tablets. The content of the tablets is believed to be a compilation of Thoth's teachings, encompassing a diverse range of subjects such as cosmology, alchemy, astrology, and spiritual development. Hermetic teachings, like the as above, so below principle, established parallels between the cosmic and earthly realms, reflecting the ancient belief that the universe is a mirror of our own lives. Thanks for joining me on this journey through Hermetic history. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating insight. The world of mythology and religion. Did you know that some of our favorite religious figures, like Moses and Jesus, have astrological symbolism hidden within their narratives? Moses, associated with the age of Aries, symbolizes leadership, courage, and duality. This age is characterized by the ram, which represents these qualities. Later, Jesus, who represents the age of Pisces, embodies the fish, another symbol of duality and balance. Moses, also known as Moshe Rabbeinu or Moses the Prophet, holds immense significance in the religious traditions of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. As per the Hebrew Bible, he emerged as the leader and liberator of the Israelites during their enslavement in ancient Egypt. Notably, he is credited with receiving the Ten Commandments from God atop Mount Sinai and guiding the Israelites through the wilderness for a protracted period of 40 years. Moses is revered as a central figure within the Jewish faith, embodying the roles of a prophet and lawgiver. His life and teachings have left an indelible mark on the religious and cultural evolution of numerous civilizations throughout history. It is widely believed that Moses embodies the characteristics of Aries, a zodiacal sign based on the concept of celestial symbolism. This symbolism associates various biblical figures with the astrological signs of the zodiac. In this instance, Aries, the first sign of the zodiac, is associated with leadership, courage, and initiation. As depicted in the Hebrew Bible, Moses is revered as a prominent leader and liberator of the Israelites from Egyptian slavery. His courage, strength, and the initiation of numerous religious and social reforms are well known. The connection between Moses and Aries stems from the belief that Aries embodies the qualities of leadership and initiation that Moses exemplified. Aries, the god of war. Ares, also known as Mars in Roman mythology, is indeed associated with the role of the god of war. The prominence and development of Ares as the god of war can be attributed to various factors, including the cultural and historical context of ancient Greece and Rome. In Christian tradition, Jesus Christ is believed to have been born during the transition from the age of Aries to the age of Pisces. Some individuals draw a connection between Jesus and the age of Pisces based on the symbolism and teachings associated with both. The Pisces symbol is depicted as two fish swimming in opposite directions, which some interpret as representing the duality of Jesus as both divine and human, as well as the concept of duality and the struggle between good and evil. Additionally, some argue that the teachings of Jesus, such as love, compassion, and the concept of sacrifice, resonate with the spiritual themes attributed to the age of Pisces. Remember, folks, there's a lot more to these stories than meets the eye. We're going to explore the intriguing story of Easter, specifically focusing on Inanna's descent to the underworld. The Sumerian narrative of Inanna's journey into the underworld and her subsequent resurrection after a 3-day period stands as one of the most renowned myths in ancient Mesopotamian literature. It is commonly referred to as Inanna's descent to the underworld or the descent of Inanna. Inanna, the revered goddess of love, beauty, fertility, and war, held a prominent position within the Sumerian pantheon. In the myth, she makes a decision to venture into the underworld, governed by her sister Ereshkigal, the supreme ruler of the departed. To prepare for her journey, Inanna meticulously attires herself in her finest garments and adornments. Prior to descending into the underworld, she entrusts her devoted servant, Ninshubur, with the task of seeking divine assistance if she fails to return within the allotted 3 days. Subsequently, Inanna embarks on her descent, traversing 7 gates, at each of which she is required to surrender a piece of her clothing or jewelry as a toll. Upon reaching the throne room of Ereshkigal, Inanna encounters her sister in a state of profound grief. Ereshkigal is overcome with sorrow due to the recent loss of her husband, Gugalana, the revered bull of heaven. Inanna's attempts to offer solace are met with anger and resentment, prompting Ereshkigal to command her servant Namtar to inflict various punishments upon Inanna. Inanna ultimately meets her demise at the hands of Ereshkigal, whose body is suspended from a hook in the underworld, left to decay. Concurrently, in the realm above, Ninshubur diligently executes Inanna's instructions and seeks divine intervention. Enki, the revered god of wisdom, conjures to beings from the earth beneath his fingernails, Galatora and Kuryara. These creatures are dispatched to the underworld on a mission to retrieve Inanna's corpse. After a protracted 3 days and 3 nights, Inanna is resurrected and restored to life. However, the underworld demands a suitable replacement for her release. Inanna is granted the authority to select an individual to assume her place, but she encounters no one willing to bear the burden. Eventually, she encounters her husband, Dumuzid, who is reveling in her absence. Inanna chooses Dumuzid as her substitute, and he is taken to the underworld in her stead. The narrative of Inanna's journey into the underworld and subsequent resurrection is frequently interpreted as a symbolic representation of the cyclical nature of life. Inanna embodies the transformative seasons, while her descent symbolizes the demise and rebirth of vegetation. Furthermore, it serves as a metaphorical initiation and a quest for knowledge and dominion. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more fascinating stories, diving more into Easter's origin, Ishtar's transformation into Easter. Ishtar, an ancient Mesopotamian goddess, was associated with fertility, love, war, and the evening star. Her representation in spring and the celebration of Akitu, also known as the New Year festival, can be traced back to the ancient Babylonian and Assyrian cultures. Akitu, a pivotal festival held in Mesopotamia during the spring equinox, marked the commencement of the agricultural season and the rejuvenation of life. Spanning several days, the festival encompassed a series of rituals and ceremonies, including the coronation of a new king or the reaffirmation of the current ruler's authority, as well as religious processions and offerings to the deities. Ishtar held a prominent role in the Akitu festival, embodying the goddess of fertility. Her presence during the festival symbolized the rejuvenation of nature and the anticipation of a prosperous year. The connection between the spring equinox and the celebration of Easter is believed to have originated from the fusion of early Christian traditions with existing pagan customs. As Christianity spread throughout Europe, missionaries often incorporated elements of local festivals and beliefs into the new faith to facilitate conversion. In the case of Easter, the early Christian celebration of Jesus Christ's resurrection was deliberately aligned with existing pagan spring festivals. This strategic move aimed to make Christianity more relatable and appealing to the local populations. The symbolism of rebirth, renewal, and fertility associated with the spring equinox and pagan deities such as Ishtar gradually became intertwined with the Christian observance of Easter. Over time, the religious significance of Easter evolved towards its Christian interpretation, emphasizing the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Nevertheless, remnants of the pagan symbolism and traditions, such as the Easter bunny and eggs, continue to be integral to the contemporary celebration.
Corresponding these myths further into traditions of Christmas we see in the early centuries of Christianity. The precise date of Jesus' birth was not universally agreed upon. Various Christian communities celebrated it on different dates throughout the year, such as January 6th or March 25th. The selection of December 25th gained prominence within the Western Christian tradition. Several factors contributed to the adoption of December 25th. One significant factor was the integration of Christian celebrations with existing pagan festivals. In the Roman Empire, the winter solstice was celebrated as the birthday of the unconquered sun Sol Invictus on December 25th. By choosing this date for Christmas, Christian leaders sought to provide an alternative celebration that would appeal to pagan converts. The specific council that formally declared December 25th as the date of Jesus' birth is uncertain, as there is no definitive record of such a decision. It is probable that the establishment of December 25th as the date for Christmas transpired gradually over several centuries, influenced by various local traditions and practices. Regarding the Pope's role, there is no concrete evidence of a specific pope explicitly declaring December 25th as the official date for celebrating Jesus' birth. However, Pope Julius I is frequently mentioned in connection with the establishment of December 25th as the date for Christmas. In the mid-4th century, Pope Julius I issued a decree proclaiming December 25th as the designated day for celebrating the Nativity in Rome. This declaration may have contributed to the broader acceptance of December 25th as the date commemorating Jesus' birth. Comparisons between Jesus' immaculate birth, death, and resurrection in various ancient deities. There are certain mythological figures and deities that exhibit shared characteristics. It is crucial to emphasize that these similarities do not imply direct influence or connection, but rather common themes prevalent in diverse religious and mythological traditions, such as Horus. Egyptian mythology. Horus, the ancient Egyptian deity, was believed to have been conceived through immaculate means by the goddess Isis. He was also associated with the sun, and his narrative encompasses battles, death, and resurrection. In ancient Sumerian and Mesopotamian mythology, the sun and moon were revered as deities with profound roles in both religious beliefs and the natural world. The sun was primarily associated with the god Udu, also known as Shamash, while the moon was associated with the god Nana, also known as Sin. These deities were believed to govern various aspects of life, including the cyclical nature of seasons and celestial movements. The position of the sun held immense significance in determining the timing of agricultural activities. The changing seasons influenced the growth of crops, and the knowledge of optimal planting and harvesting times was crucial for sustenance.
And where does Hermeticism come into this? We see the characters of each theology play a major role in the leading figures who was associated with writing, wisdom, magic, and the moon. He was frequent. Hermes Trismegistus, a figure from Greek mythology, was associated with knowledge, alchemy, and mysticism. The name Hermes Trismegistus translates to Hermes the thrice greatest and is attributed to a legendary figure who was regarded as a master of various disciplines, including astrology, alchemy, and philosophy. The fusion of Thoth and Hermes Trismegistus can be traced back to the Hellenistic period, when Greek culture came into contact with Egyptian civilization. During this era, there was a profound fascination with Egyptian religion and philosophy, leading to the assimilation of Egyptian deities into the Greek pantheon. The Hermetic tradition, a philosophical and spiritual movement that emerged during the Hellenistic period, drew significantly from the teachings associated with Hermes Trismegistus. These teachings, collectively known as Hermetica, were a compilation of writings that fused Egyptian and Greek ideas, with Hermes Trismegistus as their legendary author. The association between Hermes Trismegistus and the caduceus is a complex and somewhat intricate historical development. Hermes Trismegistus is a figure from ancient Greco-Egyptian syncretism, amalgamating elements of the Greek god Hermes, messenger of the gods, and the Egyptian god Thoth, god of wisdom and writing. The caduceus, a symbol associated with the Greek god Hermes, is a staff entwined with two snakes and often depicted with wings at the summit. The precise origin and significance of the caduceus symbol are subject to scholarly debate, but it is generally associated with commerce, negotiation, and heraldry. In Greek mythology, Hermes, the divine messenger, carried a staff entwined with two serpents. This staff, imbued with magical properties, symbolized Hermes' role as the mediator between distinct realms. Over time, this staff transformed into the caduceus, embodying not only Hermes but also healing and protection. Similarly, in Mesopotamian mythology, Enki, the deity of wisdom and water, was frequently depicted wielding a staff or wand with two intertwined serpents. This staff represented Enki's divine authority and connection to the healing arts. In contemporary usage, the caduceus has become a symbol of medicine and health care. However, it is essential to acknowledge that the utilization of the caduceus as a medical symbol is a matter of ongoing debate. The more historically accurate symbol associated with medicine is the rod of Asclepius, which features a single serpent encircling a staff. Nonetheless, the caduceus continues to hold immense power and widespread recognition, representing wisdom, healing, and the harmonious interplay of diverse forces.
Hermes, Enki, and the caduceus, a potent symbol embodying wisdom, healing, and various other attributes, has its origins in the ancient civilizations of Mesopotamia and Greece. Specifically, it is associated with the deities Hermes Greek mythology and Enki Mesopotamian mythology. In Greek mythology, Hermes, the divine messenger, carried a staff entwined with two serpents. This staff, imbued with magical properties, symbolized Hermes' role as the mediator between distinct realms. Over time, this staff transformed into the caduceus, embodying not only Hermes, but also healing and protection. Similarly, in Mesopotamian mythology, Enki, the deity of wisdom and water, was frequently depicted wielding a staff or wand with two intertwined serpents. This staff represented Enki's divine authority and connection to the healing arts. The serpents entwined in the caduceus are often interpreted as symbols of rebirth, regeneration, and equilibrium. They also symbolize the union of opposing forces, such as life and death, male and female, and the earthly and divine realms. In contemporary usage, the caduceus has become a symbol of medicine and healthcare. However, it is essential to acknowledge that the utilization of the caduceus as a medical symbol is a matter of ongoing debate. The more historically accurate symbol associated with medicine is the rod of Asclepius, which features a single serpent encircling a staff. Nonetheless, the caduceus continues to hold immense power and widespread recognition, representing wisdom, healing, and the harmonious interplay of diverse forces. Enki and the serpent, according to the mythological narrative, Enki, along with other deities, participated in the creation of humanity. Enki is revered as the deity who shaped human beings and breathed life into them. He bestowed upon humans various skills, knowledge, and understanding, including craftsmanship, agriculture, and the ability to procreate. This narrative bears a striking resemblance to the story of the serpent in the Garden of Eden, a prominent narrative within the Judeo-Christian tradition. In the biblical account, the serpent tempts Eve to consume from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, resulting in the acquisition of knowledge and the subsequent fall of humanity. Both narratives involve a divine being or entity bestowing knowledge upon humans that leads to profound consequences.
Enki and Enlil's rivalry. Enki, the ancient Sumerian deity of wisdom and creation, has left an indelible mark on modern media, particularly in the 1990 film Stargate. This cinematic adaptation drew inspiration from theories regarding ancient astronauts and the Anunnaki aligning with Enki's attributes. Louise Hay, a prominent figure within the New Age movement, authored You Can Heal Your Life, which was subsequently adapted into a film in 2017, reflecting her teachings on self-love and healing. While direct Hollywood portrayals of Enki are limited, his mythological themes continue to resonate in various media, and Hay's work has been directly adapted, underscoring her influence on popular culture. Within the ancient Mesopotamian mythology, Enki and Enlil held prominent positions within the pantheon. They were both sons of Anu, the supreme deity and ruler of the gods. The narrative of their rivalry and jealousy centered around their ardent desire for favoritism from their father, Anu. The rivalry between Enki and Enlil originated when Anu bestowed upon Enki control over the fresh waters and the earth, while Enlil was entrusted with dominion over the sky and the winds. Enki's domain was perceived as more advantageous, encompassing the fertile lands and life-giving waters. This disparity engendered feelings of jealousy and resentment within Enlil towards his brother. Enlil's envy intensified when Enki assumed the role of the primary advisor to the other gods and played a pivotal role in shaping humanity. Enki's responsibilities included the creation of humans and the provision of knowledge and civilization, which conferred upon him immense influence and favor within the divine realm. Enlil's resentment grew exponentially, yearning for the same level of respect and authority that Enki enjoyed. He resolved to demonstrate his superiority and garner more favor from their father, Anu. This rivalry between the two brothers frequently precipitated conflicts and power struggles within the divine hierarchy. Despite their animosity, Enki and Enlil were both indispensable to the functioning of the universe and held positions of significance within the Mesopotamian pantheon. Their divergent domains and abilities complemented each other, ensuring the equilibrium and order of the cosmos. Deities and the symbolism of polarity. The depiction of deities with one hand raised and one hand lowered is a prevalent phenomenon in various cultures and religions throughout history. This symbolic gesture carries profound significance and can convey diverse meanings depending on the context. Here are a few notable examples of its historical significance. In ancient Egyptian art and mythology, gods and goddesses were frequently portrayed with one arm raised and one arm lowered. This gesture was associated with the concept of hieroglyphic gestures or epigomenal, which symbolized the principle of duality or equilibrium. The raised hand represented power, authority, and protection, while the lowered hand signified humility or offering. In Hindu iconography, deities are commonly depicted with one hand raised and one hand lowered. This gesture is known as the Abhaya Mudra and is associated with the dispelling of fear and the provision of protection. The raised hand embodies reassurance and blessings, while the lowered hand represents the granting of boons and the elimination of negativity. In Buddhism, the gesture of one hand raised and one hand lowered is referred to as the Vitarka Mudra or the teaching gesture. It is frequently depicted in representations of the Buddha and Bodhisattvas. The raised hand symbolizes the transmission of knowledge, while the lowered hand represents the reception or comprehension of wisdom. In Christian art, the depiction of Christ with one hand raised and one hand lowered is often associated with the gesture of blessing. It embodies Christ's authority, divine power, and his role as a mediator between the celestial realm and the earthly sphere. In ancient Greek and Roman art, deities such as Zeus and Jupiter were occasionally depicted with one hand raised and one hand lowered. This gesture was associated with their roles as supreme gods, conveying their authority and power over the mortal realm. Translating Baphomet, it is essential to recognize that Baphomet holds diverse interpretations and meanings for various individuals and mystical traditions. Some perceive it as a representation of a deity, while others interpret it as a symbol of occult knowledge, spiritual enlightenment, or personal transformation. As with numerous symbols, interpretations and understandings can vary depending on the cultural, historical, and personal context in which they are employed. The narrative surrounding Baphomet is replete with mythology, symbolism, and religious interpretations. Baphomet is frequently depicted as a deity or an idol associated with occultism and esoteric traditions. Its origins can be traced back to the Knights Templar, a medieval Christian military order. Historical accounts assert that the Knights Templar were accused of worshipping an idol named Baphomet during the early 14th century. The precise nature of this idol remains uncertain, as the accounts are inconsistent and often exaggerated. Baphomet and polarity. Baphomet is also associated with the concept of polarity, representing the coexistence of opposing forces. It symbolizes the dynamic interplay between light and darkness, order and chaos, and other opposing pairs. The raised and lowered hands of Baphomet are symbolic gestures known as the as above, so below principle. This principle embodies the connection between the spiritual and material realms, suggesting that occurrences in one realm mirror those in the other. The raised hand symbolizes the divine or spiritual realm, while the lowered hand represents the earthly or physical realm. Hermeticism, through the amalgamation of Greek and Egyptian philosophical concepts, introduced the principles of duality and balance, which profoundly influenced our understanding of evil. In comprehending the symbolism of Baphomet duality, we have elucidated that the concept of evil, particularly in relation to the term Beth, has its roots in ancient philosophies and mythologies. Hermeticism, a prominent spiritual and philosophical tradition, emerged from the synthesis synthesis of Greek and Egyptian ideas during the Hellenistic period. Hermes Trismegistus, a mythical figure embodying the fusion of Greek god Hermes and Egyptian god Thoth, holds central significance within Hermetic teachings, which emphasize spiritual transformation and the interconnectedness of all entities. Hermeticism posits the concept of duality and equilibrium, exemplified by the symbolism of Baphomet, a figure frequently associated with both esoteric knowledge and perceived malevolence. Baphomet's representation, incorporating elements representing both male and female attributes as well as the as above, so below gesture, aligns with Hermetic principles of unity and polarity. This duality can be interpreted as encompassing both good and evil within a broader philosophical framework, rather than viewing them as solely antagonistic forces. Consequently, Hermeticism contributed to the development of concepts of duality and balance, which over time evolved into associations with figures such as Baphomet, influencing contemporary perceptions of what Beth or evil may represent in various mystical or religious contexts. Sumerian mythology has significantly influenced modern astrology, with ancient Mesopotamian civilizations associating celestial bodies with deities, a practice that established the foundation for contemporary astrological systems. For instance, the Sumerians linked the planet Venus to the goddess Inanna, embodying love and war, a connection that continues to be reflected in modern astrology's association of Venus with love and beauty. Furthermore, the Sumerian zodiac, based on lunar phases and constellations, introduced the concept of zodiac signs, which subsequently evolved into the 12-sign system utilized today. The Templars were accused of worshipping Baphomet, although the first reference to Baphomet appeared in 1098 in a letter by Anselm of Ribamont describing the siege of Antioch during the First Crusade. He stated that the Turks invoked Baphomet during the battle, and scholars later interpreted this as a reference to Mohammed, the creator of Islam. In 1307, Philip IV of France ordered the arrest of every Templar for heretical acts, including the worship of a bearded male head known as Baphomet. In 1861, a book titled Transcendental Magic, Its Doctrine and Ritual, authored by a French occultist who created the Baphomet icon we know today, was published. Another book, Frontispiece, influenced the modern design of Baphomet, envisioning it as a sabbatical goat hermaphrodite with wings, human body, goat's head, and feet, symbolizing duality and equality. Were there any similarities between Egyptology and the Templars' heresy? The only religion that stands out is Egyptology. Schools greater than higher education, Adam greater than. Amen, understanding the higher power. Adam, a pharaoh who revered a higher power collective state of consciousness, established a personalized education system to foster mental transformation and gain a comprehensive understanding of various perspectives. The hieroglyphic alphabet, originating from Africa and reaching the Great Kingdoms, was read from left to right and top to bottom, reflecting the direction of faces. It was never read from bottom to top. The cosmic universe embodied the essence of humanity. The notion of illegality implies a creator's error, but the creator never erred the concept of an illegal act. Everything, whether legal or illegal, was an immaculate comprehension. The waters of Hun, the source from which all things originate. Upon death, a stargate, nature. One cosmic year condensed into 12 months equates to 1 month being equivalent to 12 billion years. If we translate one cosmic year into 12 months, it would not occur until September 14th. The Earth we know would emerge, birthing life in the waters. September 25th, molecules would begin to order and arrange themselves in oceans and ponds. October. Plants and multicellular beings from protoplasma in the water would start to multiply. December 31st, we would arrive at the present day and modern civilization. The closer we approach the speed of light, the shorter the duration of our travel time. Adam emerged from the waters of Nun, and from Adam came Puta. Puta equals the conversion of potential energy into kinetic energy is a topic of study in schools. although the approach may not be personalized. We learn through the understanding of others, as exemplified by the concept of atom giving birth to super. Clusters equals galaxies equals star formations equals theplanets. Could the Templars have recognized the correlation between the mind and the cosmos through ancient texts?
A lot of this could have even learnt through the ancient tradition passed through Islam, as the Moors hold very ancient tradition of teaching like alchemy, agriculture, sciences and maths. Their spread through Europe could have contributed greatly to the influence of the Templars' heresy to the church mentioned before. The origin of the word Baphomet may come from French translation of Muhammad, or Muhammad, also known as Muhammad, is the revered prophet and founder of Islam. Born in Mecca, present-day Saudi Arabia, in 570 CE, he is considered the final prophet sent by God by Muslims. Muhammad's teachings, exemplary moral character, and receipt of the Quran, the sacred text of Islam, have earned him global reverence. His contributions to the establishment and dissemination of Islam continue to guide Muslims in spiritual, moral, and daily life. Origins and historical development of science. Islam also possessed ancient traditions and teachings that we can explore in various subjects. One way this was integrated into modern society was through the cooperative teachings between Islamic Moors and Christian or Catholic knights and pilgrims. Moor science. Ancient Egypt Kemet, meaning alchemy, brought light to numerous subjects that we are still developing our knowledge of today, such as alchemy, chemistry, physiology, biology. Morencidran, the concept of the intangible and the unseen. Moorish science was an African culture that explored the lands and shared gifts in exchange for places to stay. In contrast to the Navajo, who placed greater emphasis on physical presence, something that can be perceived, Moors today are considered Muslim, although Islam from the outset meant light bearers being. Islam stood for science, and the two were united. As the Moors traveled through different regions and encountered new cultures, they exchanged gifts, including knowledge as well as physical possessions. Moors Africans, as we know them today, utilized bodily functions to map a lunar cycle and create the first calendar. Islam confronts contemporary issues with its own justification. Reject the devil and your life will be lived. Pursuing a dream is akin to chasing the devil. If you venture too far in seeking what you cannot find because we, as humans, set unrealistic expectations, this culture was exiled from its homeland by intruders who employed psychological methods still employed today in modern combat and psychological warfare. Today, these methods are often referred to as midlife crises. These are the same methods used in contemporary versions of religion, such as Christianity, Catholicism, Buddhism, and Islam, as we are taught. The Moors were the only people in the world who possessed the knowledge and understanding of constructing the pyramids and the genetic connection to the Egyptian ancestors. From top to bottom, as above, so below.
Presently, the Pope is engaged in discussions regarding the connection between the Pope, fertility, Easter, and Ishtar within the context of historical and cultural influences on religious traditions. Ishtar, an ancient Mesopotamian goddess, embodied love, war, and fertility. Easter, a Christian holiday commemorating the resurrection of Jesus Christ, coincides with the spring equinox, a time traditionally associated with fertility and rebirth. The Easter festival has assimilated symbols of fertility, such as eggs and bunnies, which are believed to have pre-Christian origins. As the head of the Catholic Church, the Pope presides over Easter celebrations globally, which have evolved to incorporate both Christian and pre-Christian elements. In contemporary times, the Pinacone is displayed at the Vatican as a symbol of fertility and reproduction, paying homage to Enki's role in selecting the Pinacone seed that gave birth to humanity. The Templars' influence extends beyond their historical significance, shaping the modern corporate revolution and trade landscape. Pioneering early banking practices, they provided secure asset storage and issued letters of credit, enabling pilgrims to travel without carrying valuables. Their extensive network across Europe and the Middle East facilitated financial transactions and trade, laying the groundwork for modern banking systems. While their direct impact on the Industrial Revolution remains a subject of scholarly debate, their financial innovations established fundamental principles that underpinned subsequent economic developments. In contemporary times, the pinnacone is displayed at the Vatican as a symbol of fertility and reproduction, paying homage to Enki's role in selecting the pinnacone seed that gave birth to humanity. The Templars' influence extends beyond their historical significance, shaping the modern corporate revolution and trade landscape. Pioneering early banking practices, they provided secure asset storage and issued letters of credit, enabling pilgrims to travel without carrying valuables. Their extensive network across Europe and the Middle East facilitated financial transactions and trade, laying the groundwork for modern banking systems. While their direct impact on the Industrial Revolution remains a subject of scholarly debate, their financial innovations established fundamental principles that underpinned subsequent economic developments. In contemporary times, the pinnacone is displayed at the Vatican as a symbol of fertility and reproduction, paying homage to Enki's role in selecting the pinnacone seed that gave birth to humanity. The Templars' influence extends beyond their historical significance, shaping the modern corporate revolution and trade landscape. Pioneering early banking practices, they provided secure asset storage and issued letters of credit, enabling pilgrims to travel without carrying valuables. Their extensive network across Europe and the Middle East facilitated financial transactions and trade, laying the groundwork for modern banking systems. While their direct impact on the Industrial Revolution remains a subject of scholarly debate, their financial innovations established fundamental principles that underpin subsequent economic developments. So, to conclude, we have looked at the origins of mythology from Sumerian to Egyptology to the Greek pantheons. We have correlated those mythologies with prominent biblical figures and the historic coincidences in the stories, if there is such a thing, and how these beliefs were reflected in the Templars' views and possibly led to the downfall. Do forget to like, and the Templars' influence extends beyond their historical significance, shaping the modern corporate revolution and trade landscape. Pioneering early banking practices, they provided secure asset storage and issued letters of credit, enabling pilgrims to travel without carrying valuables. Their extensive network across Europe and the Middle East facilitated financial transactions and trade, laying the groundwork for modern banking systems. While their direct impact on the Industrial Revolution remains a subject of scholarly debate, their financial innovations established fundamental principles that underpin subsequent economic developments. So, to conclude, we have looked at the origins of mythology from Sumerian to Egyptology to the Greek pantheons. We have correlated those mythologies with prominent biblical figures and the historic coincidences in the stories, if there is such a thing, and how these beliefs were reflected in the Templars' views and possibly led to the downfall. Do forget to like and taxation, United States to United Kingdom. Since the Treaty of 1783 and the War of Independence, American citizens have been subject to financial obligations to the British monarch. While taxpayers are required to maintain an individual master file and are liable for taxes through a treaty between the United States and the United Kingdom, UK to Holy See, the Vatican. In 1209, Pope Innocent III imposed an interdict on the Kingdom of England due to escalating conflicts with King John, who refused to acknowledge Stephen Langton as the papal candidate for the Bishop of Canterbury. The dispute was resolved in 1213 when John relinquished his authority to the Pope by becoming his vassal and agreed to pay feudal taxes to the Catholic Church. Chestui Cuvi Act 1666, dead or lost at sea. Parliament enacted the 1666 Act in a clandestine session in 1666. The Act's purpose was to subrogate the rights of the people by declaring all men and women in England deceased lost beyond the seas, using Admiralty law, the law of the seas, as the governing legal framework. The current government has effectively seized control of all individuals and their assets, exercising authority over them until a living person can reclaim their titles by proving their existence and entitlement to the estates in limbo. This allows for claims for damages or lawsuits to be filed against the government, which currently holds legal fiction ownership of these records, such as national insurance numbers, social security numbers, birth certificates, and so on. Legally, we are considered mere legal fictions, words on paper or data stored in computer systems.
We've had a fantastic journey exploring the fascinating connections between Sumerian, Egyptology, and Greek mythology, and how these ancient civilizations have influenced our world today. We've uncovered how these ancient cultures' knowledge of astrology was incorporated into biblical teachings, and how this knowledge has shaped our world. It's been a thrilling ride, and I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. If you found this video informative and entertaining, you can support my work by following the links in the bio and purchasing a hardback or paperback copy of this work with more in-depth personal and story analysis. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey of discovery. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep wondering about the amazing world we live in. Cheers!
Thank you for any time taken to enjoy my own pantheon of history.